puertorriqueña. Yo te la traigo de Cupey, de Vega Baja y de Santurce, de todas partes de Puerto Rico.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jeff and Joe's Puerto Rican Kitchen, where we show you how to make easy, authentic Puerto Rican recipes. It's Christmas time, and you know what that means. It's time to make some pasteles. Pasteles are the quintessential Puerto Rican holiday dish. If you go to a party around Christmas time and there's not pasteles, was it really a party? But anyways, a lot of people think that making pasteles is hard, but I think that's wrong. Last year, we showed you guys how to make pasteles from scratch, and they were delicious and easy, at least easier than your abuelita probably told you. But this year, we're gonna make them even easier. We're gonna be using frozen masa. Now guys, I saw this in my local grocery and I was like, really? Is that gonna be good? Should I try it? I tried it and honestly, it's really good. With a couple tweaks, it's about just as good as from scratch. It would take a real expert to tell the difference. And so we're gonna do it. You guys can make this in under an hour, so you have no excuses to not make pasteles this year. So here are the ingredients you need for your pasteles de masa. First, we got some pernil or pork shoulder. There's 2 pounds in here, and I've cut it up really small. I like to keep those pieces small. It's easier to stuff and easier to eat. Then we have half a cup of sofrito, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 small onion that's been diced, 2 cloves of garlic that have been diced, a can of tomato sauce, half a cup of olives, green olives that have been diced. Then we got a teaspoon of adobo and a teaspoon or 1 packet of sazon. So that's for the filling, guys, super straightforward. Then for the masa, right, the big thing here is that we're using frozen masa. So before, we showed you guys how to do it from scratch, where you take all the root vegetables, you peel them, you grind them, you grate them, tons of work. This is way easier, guys. So I have 2 different types. I have 1 pack of Masa de Guineo, which is just ground up green banana, and then 1 pack of Masa para Pasteles y Alcapurrias. This is a ground up dough that's a combination of green bananas, yautía, and yuca. So this is traditionally kind of the trio of root veggies you would add to your pasteles, but I've found that the taste is less banana-y than I like. I like a strong green banana taste. I feel it's like the real traditional taste. So I found you can get that by mixing 1 to 1. So 1 of this and then 1 of this. Then to that, we're gonna add some flavoring and a little bit of fat. That just makes it taste better. We have a cup of chicken broth. So this is just 1 cup of water with 1 of these cubitos en polvo added to it. Then half a cup of achiote oil. So you can make this or you can buy it. If you make it, it's pretty easy. You just heat up some vegetable oil, you add some achiote, you let it cook for a bit, and then you strain out the achiote. Link in the video if you want to check it out in our old video. Then we have a 1/4 cup of vegetable shortening. This is a little different than our earlier recipe. It's not something you would necessarily add if you were doing it from fresh, but I found if you use the frozen masa, it can be a little bit tough if you don't add it. So I like to add it here. Then finally, 4 teaspoons of salt. So that's the masa. And finally, to wrap it all up, we got green banana leaves. So you can buy these frozen, super easy, guys. If you get them fresh, that's fine too. You're just gonna have to sear them over an open fire first to make them soft. So green banana leaves. Then we have hoja de pastel, which is just parchment paper that's been cut into specific widths. Super easy to use, guys. I would encourage using that. Otherwise, you have to like tear off a bunch of pieces of parchment paper. It takes a lot of time. And last, some twine that we'll use to tie everything up, make it look pretty, guys. So that's it. Gonna be super easy. You guys are gonna love it. Let's get cooking.
To make pasteles even easier to make, we're going to be using store-bought masa. Since it comes frozen, the first thing you'll need to do is get it thawed. To do this, just put it in your sink and run some lukewarm water over it until it's completely thawed. While your masa is thawing, let's go ahead and start the filling. Heat up a large, heavy pan and add your oil. Once your oil is hot, add your pork and begin browning it, stirring occasionally to prevent it from sticking to the bottom of the pan. As it cooks, you'll see that the pork releases a fair amount of liquid. This is normal. Just keep cooking your pork until all that liquid has evaporated. Once evaporated, go ahead and add your onion and garlic. Now saute these until the onion turns translucent, about 2 to 3 minutes. Once the onion is translucent, go ahead and add your sofrito, stirring to combine. Cook for another 2 to 3 minutes or until all the liquid has evaporated. Then add the rest of your ingredients for the filling: the sazon, the adobo, the olives, and the tomato sauce. Stir to combine and cook for another couple of minutes to really let the flavors meld together. Once melded, turn your stove down to low, put the lid on, and cook your filling for 20 to 30 minutes until it's fork tender. As the filling is cooking, check it every 5 minutes or so to make sure there is still enough liquid in the pan to prevent it from burning. If the liquid gets low, just add a little more water. Once your filling is done cooking, taste it for salt and make any adjustments needed. While your filling is simmering, go ahead and begin mixing your masa. Add both bags of masa to a large bowl. Make sure the bowl is big enough to fit all of the ingredients and still have space to mix. Now add the rest of the ingredients: the achiote oil, the salt, the chicken broth, and the shortening. Once added, use a whisk to stir everything together. You want to make sure to mix it really well since you need to ensure that the shortening is completely homogenized. Once mixed, your masa should be a consistent color throughout with no lumps. With your masa and filling done, let's go ahead and get the rest of our supplies ready to roll the pasteles. First, we'll need to prepare our banana leaves, which we'll roll the pasteles in. We are using frozen banana leaves, which you can pick up at your local grocery store. After you take your banana leaves out of their packaging, the first thing you want to do is wipe them down with a damp cloth to remove any residue from their processing. Once you've done that, cut your banana leaves into pieces about 9 inches long by 12 inches wide. They don't have to be super precise, but try to keep them about the same size as it will make rolling a lot easier. Also, make sure to cut off the hard, woody stem from the side of the leaf to make it easier to roll. This recipe makes approximately 18 pasteles, so keep cutting your banana leaves until you have about 20 pieces just to be safe. Next, cut your twine into pieces that are about 30 inches long, which we'll use to tie up our pasteles. Finally, add some achiote oil to a small bowl with a brush. You can buy the achiote oil or you can make it yourself. If you want to make it, check out our earlier video on pasteles in the link for an easy recipe you can make at home. Now, with all your ingredients prepared, let's go ahead and set up our workstation. This process becomes something of an assembly line, so you want to make sure you have everything within reaching distance so you can just start cranking out the pasteles once you get started. Here, you can see that I've set up my banana leaves, parchment paper, and achiote oil on my left, with my masa, filling, and twine on my right. I've also left a clear space right in front of me where I'll actually make the pasteles. Now on to the rolling. Start by placing a piece of parchment paper in front of you. Then place a banana leaf on top of the parchment paper towards the edge closest to you. You'll notice that the banana leaf has lines in it. You should orient the banana leaf so the lines are running left to right across your body. This will make it easier to fold the banana leaf. Once your banana leaf is situated, use your brush to spread some achiote oil onto the leaf in a rectangle approximately 6 inches wide by 4 inches high. This achiote oil makes removing the leaf easier once cooked and also gives a little more color to your pasteles. Now scoop about 2/3 of a cup of masa onto your banana leaf on top of the achiote oil and spread it out to cover the area you brushed with the achiote oil. Now, spoon about 1/4 cup of your filling onto your masa in a straight line along the rear edge of your rectangle. Once the filling is in place, use the banana leaf to fold the masa in half so that the filling is completely encompassed in the masa. Next, pull your banana leaf back towards the edge of the parchment paper and roll the parchment paper over your banana leaf once. Then press down along the edges of the banana leaf to push the masa towards the center of your pastel and then fold in the sides of the parchment paper on both sides. Once the sides are folded in, Keep rolling your pastel forward, flattening it out as you go. Now, set aside your first pastel and roll another using the same technique. Place your banana leaf on your parchment paper, brush on some achiote oil, add the dough and shape it into a rectangle, add your filling along the edge of the pastel, fold the pastel over once to fully cover the filling, roll your pastel forward in the parchment paper and seal the edges, then finish rolling your pastel. Now that you have two pasteles, we are going to tie them together into what is called a yunta. To make your yunta, take the two pasteles and put one on top of the other with the flaps facing inward. Then grab a piece of your twine and tie the pasteles together in the same way you would tie a package, looping the string once along the long side and once across the short side. Make sure that the string is taut and the pasteles are tied snugly together. That said, you don't want to tie them so tight that the string leaves a depression in the pasteles when you boil them. Now keep rolling your pasteles until they are all done. Once you get the hang of it, this whole process becomes really easy and you can wrap these up super quick. Indeed, because most of the work is in the prep, people will often do a whole bunch of pasteles, as many as a couple hundred, all at once, and then just freeze them for later or to share with friends and family. Once finished, I like to mark my pasteles with the type of masa I used as well as the filling. This makes it a lot easier to grab the right ones later on when I'm rummaging through the freezer. Finally, before you can eat your pasteles, you'll need to boil them. To do this, just add water to a large pot, enough to completely cover your pasteles, and bring it to a boil. Once boiling, add your pasteles and cook them until the masa is fully cooked. If you cook your pasteles fresh, right after you rolled them, it'll probably take about 45 minutes to cook. However, if you freeze your pasteles and boil them right out of the freezer, it can take about twice as long. Once your pasteles are cooked, take them out of the boiling water, let them drain, and then unwrap them to eat. Just serve them with some arroz con gandules and you'll have the perfect holiday treat. Enjoy!
Crazy how that flavor just takes you back to Christmas on the island. I mean, there's just nothing like it. Every time I bite it, I'm boom, back in Puerto Rico, holidays, barandas, all the great stuff. It's that green banana for me that tastes really, really epitomizes what is holidays in Puerto Rico, guys. So you really need to try it this year. Share it with your friends and your family. Make some pasteles for them. And again, guys, it's super easy with the pre-ground masa. Like we showed you how to do it, guys. It's you go out, you buy it. There's no shredding. There's no grinding. It's really straightforward. And honestly, if you make the thing that probably took the longest here was making the meat, but you can do that ahead of time. You can put that in a slow cooker and cook it for a couple hours and you'll be fine. Then all that matters is mixing a little bit of masa and then rolling them up, which frankly doesn't take all that much time, guys. So no more excuses. You gotta make some patela for your friends and family, guys. Do it. They will love you because of it. Hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. We're making tons of great videos, so you really need to stay informed so you can come back and watch them. Share it with your friends. Leave comments below how it goes for you. We'd love to hear more about it. And come back again next week for another episode of Jeff and Joe's Puerto Rican Kitchen.